The best and the worst with studded tires are the studs, because they make a lot of noise and they tear down roads. But what if you could make a tire that the studs goes in when not needed and out on icy roads? Nokian says that they have solved this problem, the 01. And how does this work? They said that if the tire is warm, the studs goes in, summer times or, roads, warmer roads, and on icy roads, when the tire goes cold, the studs goes out. So does that work? I will test this at Ivalo test center up in north of Finland. Let's see if it works in real life. And the big difference, of course, is that the road wear will be 30% less with the studs more in. And the ice grip 10% better, and the grip on wet asphalt 5% better. And of course, for all us normal drivers, the noise level in the car will be 1 decibel lower.
They will, for sure.
Great. See you and to be here and experience this. And can you present yourself?
Thank you very much. Yes, it's nice to have you here. My name is Mikko Liukkula. I am the development manager of studded winter tires and one tires at Nokian Tyres. I have been working here now 25 years, and I'm very proud to present you our newest Hakkapeliitta 01 tire with adaptive stud technology.
So you have been on this development from the very start.
Yes.
And who came up with the idea?
Yeah, well, I have been the development manager of Sati tires since Hakkapeliitta 8, and let's say this idea we have been played with this idea like we had 2014 our concept tire, which was very, very complicated, but it really had the studs which were retractable by a button. So you press button.
By a button?
They went in, but of course...
Was it electric in some way, or...?
I don't remember.
But then the button inside the car.
I can say, and I remember it was very, very complicated.
Yeah.
And I would say that one tire cost the price of the Porsche Cayenne where it was tested.
Okay,
but,
so it was a James Bond tire.
Yeah, but really that idea, of course, and the feedback we got there was very, very positive, and there was a lot of ideas also inside of our company. We tested a lot of different kind of embodiments. We had the pneumatic actuators in the tire tread. We had like whatever you can imagine, and the most of these development paths unfortunately ended up to dead end.
To dead end, but you were still stubborn. We will make this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And finally, the let's say the answer and the solution was the simplest one.
Yes.
So,
who came up with that idea? But every tire manufacturers are coming with new winter studded tires because of new law that regulates how the road wear must be. So they might have smaller studs or lighter studs or some other technology, but the Nokian way is to retract the stud into the tire. But it's always a studded tire. You can't have it as an all-season tire. Maybe Evolution 10 of this tire is an all-season tire. The studs really up in the tire during the summertime and out in the winter. But that's for future.
Who came that idea? Well, it's a bit complicated. We have plenty of patents on those, and there is at least four names on it. So it is not that simple that it just came like that. We first thought that we will have it only under the stud. But also, if you go like 20 years ago, we already had some ideas of that kind of function, but it was really never pushed through our let's say machine and R&D machine, and now when I may take the credit that I pushed it through.
Okay, you pushed it through. So here we are now.
Yes.
So this is how it works. This is the rubber when it's in temperature like this in the inside, like 20, let's see, 20 degrees, then it's really soft and bendy and nice. And I have one here is, oh, we take one other who's been in here in the cold place. It's -3, this one. And it's really much more stiff. And this is actually the rubber who's in the tire. So this is what the tire differs from within the temperature. And I can have this hammer here with a stud. And if I hammer with this one, it's really sturdy and strong. And this is much softer. So this is the simple theory of this tire, how it works. And I bet they worked a lot to get this rubber compound really right. But it's just easy, as it should be. Good things should be really easy. Can you explain for me the temperature that we are talking about? How big is the temperature range that make this stud go out or in?
Yeah, the first experiments we did, we had too fragile material, so when we hit with a hammer like you did today, it was breaking, and there was a lot of development to find out the perfect balance for that. So in normal conditions, the studs are out.
Yes.
But when you start driving and when you go to a bare road, the small movement of the stud starts warming up the adaptive base under the stud bottom flange. And when that warms up, it turns to soft, and the studs are retracted in, and they kind of stay in, because in that temperature, in that speed, if you're driving 100 km per hour on the main road, highway, the studs hit the road like 14 times a second each stud. So that is really making the difference.
Nokian has been testing tires up here in Ivalo, and they have their own test track since 1986 with 40 kilometers of roads and a lot of different ice tracks and so on, and they are working 180 days a year up here to test tires. I think they test around 5,000 different tires each year, so it's a busy people up here. And they claim that they invented the winter tire. The brand Hakkapeliitta is 90 years old now. I'll just feel how the grip is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's perfect. We have Nokian tyres.
You have Nokian tires, yes.
Do you have some experience about driving?
No.
No experience.
Never. Some. Yes. Been doing this work for my life. So yes, I like to drive. Who doesn't? And if I come suddenly at some icy parts on the road, maybe it's been some sunshine somewhere, or if I go over a bridge or something, it's just ice. It was like tarmac here, and now ice here.
It is still a studded tire, and when the stud can penetrate through the ice, it will penetrate.
Okay.
So there is no force, that kind of force which keeps it in. And of course, in every situation, of course, as a development manager of studded tires, I can say that it is always better than the friction tire on ice.
And how quickly does it react, you would say? Is it like 1 minute or less than if the conditions?
Again, it is so much depending on...
If I go here on ice and then I go out to tarmac here, it just take 1 minute to have the feeling?
We rather not say any specific time, because this is something which is so much affected on various parameters. So I would say it is quite fast, but it is not happening like this.
Okay.
But still, like you see, the studs are out in the normal situation when it's not moving. And when you lower the speed, you hit the ice, the studs are out, and you can have a good grip there. No, don't worry about this. We have tested this quite intensely.
Are there some conditions when the Hakkapeliitta 10 is better?
I think the price is lower now.
The price is lower, yes. The price will rise around 5% or this tire?
Of course, I'm not responsible of that.
No.
I really can't say about anything.
And the roll resistance then?
The rolling resistance, I think it is quite the same level. Of course, we cannot measure it too much on according to the standardized test with studs, so we do the measurement without studs on drum, and it is of course plus temperature.
Yes.
But with my Tesla, for example, when I have been driving forth and back with Hakkapeliitta 10 and Hakkapeliitta 01 from Tampere to Ivalo, like many times a year. So this is what you can see, that okay, the difference, if it's depending on the for example, if it's minus 30 degrees, you have a huge difference, and so overall I don't see a big change there. Maybe a slight, but still.
But if you go on tarmac and the studs are more in, it should be less roll resistance, right?
Yeah, that's very true. But also the compound itself has some resistance.
So it's a little bit stiffer,
yeah.
The compound. So it's
or let's say stickier. That would be maybe the right.
The sticker. The compound is stickier.
Yeah, it's same as if you have a very good wet grip on the compound. You probably have a good less higher rolling resistance. So it is kind of always a trade-off. But I don't see there is a big difference. We will probably see it on this autumn when the independent test organizations and magazines do the test, and they will publish it. So
are you confident that you will be the winner of the icy parts?
I have never been so confident before.
Okay.
But let's see. Of course, I don't know what the competitors are doing, and they usually don't tell me.
No, but can you explain for us why all the manufacturers are now trying to develop something like this? They might have lighter studs or smaller studs or something else.
So the new regulation will be affecting all the tires which are manufactured after this year. So beginning of 2027, if you want to have an approved tire and manufactured approved tire, you have to have so-called Phase A plus approval.
Mm-hmm. But you claim that this will less the road wear with 30%. That's double what the...
Yes. This is compared to a tire which is exactly the same, but there is different tread compounds, so that another one has an adaptive base and another one has the traditional base. But also with Hakkapeliitta 10 we have got such numbers, even bigger, but we say up to 30%.
Mm-hmm. Understand. And can you explain for us how this test is managed and what temperatures?
We have a specific standardized test zone for this, made of Kuru granite, and you take them, you wash them, and you dry them on the oven up to 110 degrees of Celsius, 72 hours. And then you measure the weight, and you put them on the matrix, you take them on the track, and you drive straight over those 200 times, so that there will be 400 passes of the tire. And then you
standardized car with the weight of the car has to be something special?
Yeah, that has to be according the load index of the tire, and speed is 100 km/h. The test condition is from plus 2 degrees up to air temperature 20 degrees, and road temperature can be plus 2 up to 25 degrees of Celsius.
And here we have the 700 meters indoor tunnel, ice tunnel. So you can have sort of the same sort of conditions all the time. Of course you don't have, but much better than outside. As you can see, the snow has disappeared from some areas on the roof, And that affects actually the ice under, because then you have more light or sun in on that part of the ice, so it makes the ice different. And they only test 3 pair of tires, and then they have the reference tire, so they go back and see if something of the conditions changes. So it's really, really sensitive, and they go braking, acceleration up to 25 kilometers per hour, and so on. What about the longevity of the tires? Is it going to be the same?
The mileage is same as Hakkapeliitta. We have tested it many times in convoy test, in taxi test, so that we have like a cross-fitting of the tires, and then we measure them in every 5,000 kilometers, and we have very similar results.
And the tire and the studs are wearing at the same sort of rate?
Yes.
Yes. So it's...
And no problem in start retention or anything like that. Of course, when the tire is worn 3-4 millimeters, then there is not much left of the stud, and then you will have it's global issue that you will have some stud loss and so on.
And these are not normal studded tires?
Normal, yes.
Normal?
Normal, yes.
Okay, normal studded tires?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Normal car, normal style.
A normal driver?
Normal driver, yes.
Yes.
Normal test driver.
Yeah.
Normal driver.
Normal driver, normal car. This is the everyday's car.
Yes.
Yes,
Everything is normal.
everything normal. This is how life is.
Yes.
And that's really normal slide as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how you drive up in north. But you must have looked forward for this if you started this like 20 years thinking, and now over 14 years working, and now it's finally here.
Yeah. That's very true. It is. I'm very proud of what we have now brought out, and really this will be a good tire, and it will definitely increase the road safety and decrease the wearing of roads.
The wearing roads. And for me as a customer, maybe the most thing I will appreciate is the lower sound.
Yes. It's really a big difference. But even without the silent drive, it is now much more silent than the previous Hakkapeliitta. That when it hits the road, if they are extended so outside of the tread, you will ignite every time a small hit to the belt of the tire, the steel belts, and that will generate a vibration on the tire cavity. And when this cavity starts to resonate, it's around 200 hertz, and the second is something like 350 hertz. This noise will go then through the suspension to the structures of the vehicle and to the cabin, and it is annoying. And the silent drive noise cancelling foam is of course good solution for that.
So that is an add-on. You can buy this tire with or without the silent.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
You're welcome.
I think one thing got smaller, but maybe actually these are getting bigger. So it works like the tires. The same thing.